G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of the Inner City Hermit. We're on fire lately. We are on fire. I've got everything set up, things are going good. Did my first interview podcast, which was a sort of new thing. It is actually so much harder than I expected. Not in the fact of just recording. Like the recording and the talking parts is pretty easy, but it's that how would you explain it? Like you know people are listening, so you don't really have that little when you're talking to someone, you're having a conversation with someone that's not recorded. Obviously, if things go flat or something, not that they did with Kia and I, but when things go flat, you kind of got to think on your feet straight away to keep the conversation rolling. And it's I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's in the back of your head. You're like, I really don't want a minute period where you're kind of just idling over words. So it's really it's a lot more thinking involved than just chucking the mic on and having a yarn. But still, really, really good. The more I'm doing this, the more I love it. And when I started this, I really knew I loved it, and even just doing it now is so much fun. Like it's literally all I want to do. Every time I come and I sit down, or I come home from work and I sit down, all I want to do is just set up the microphone and just talk for half an hour. And I'm getting some really, really good ideas coming to me as well. So creatively, it's really getting me out of the box, which is great. And I feel so good. So I hope that, listening to me talk sometimes, or, listening to me talk to someone else, it gives you guys something to do as well. Maybe I'm asking questions, or I'm talking about things that you can relate to. For example, I had a lot of messages about the old roulette passenger on the plane. So it's good to know that I'm not going crazy, and that other people are also, thinking of that stupid shit. But it got me thinking again. I went out to dinner with Kia on Friday night, and it's always good. She always kind of gives me a bit of inspiration, because she'll always bring up something, and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that's so true. I do that, and blah blah blah. But we started off thinking about just conversating with people, whether it be at work, whether it be at wherever, gym, sport, just even when you're out. I do it a lot when I meet new people, but we started talking about when you unintentionally lie. So you don't really mean anything by the lie. You don't want to lie. Like I don't like lying. I don't really have a need to lie. Like I'm pretty upfront, hence the reason why I chuck myself on YouTube. But sometimes when you're having a chat with someone and, conversation's going really well, you get really into the conversation, maybe you're talking about traveling or something like that, and all of a sudden you buy in too much to the conversation and you accidentally lie. And for me, this was a situation that happened a while back, but I was chatting to someone, I can't remember where it was. I think it may have been I just met someone's partner for the first time, and that can be really awkward, when I just meet boyfriend after boyfriend in terms of or Kia's friends, because Kia's got so many friends. I'm just constantly meeting people, unlike me who has like 5 friends. Yes. But yeah, and I was just having a chat, and anyway, we came up talking about travel, and I can't remember what he said, but they were talking about, I've been to this country. I think it was Vietnam. And they were talking about Vietnam and how it's great. And I got really, really into the conversation. And I had no ambition to do this. But he asked me, have I ever been there? And I said, yeah, man, I've been to Vietnam. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I just thought, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You've never been to Vietnam. Why are you saying that? And then, so obviously you put the shovel in the dirt and you don't stop shoveling. So as soon as it's come out of my mouth, I've gone, fuck, you look like an absolute tit if you just go, oh, nah, sorry, man. I don't know why I said that. I've never been to Vietnam. So you start playing this game of how far into this lie can I get or how much can I actually make this believable? It's kind of exciting in a way, because you're like, are they going to see through me and think I'm a fucking idiot, or are they going to, go along with it? And I feel like I did a real great job. But anyway, the conversation kept going, and I went from all of a sudden I'd been to Vietnam, and then all of a sudden my story had turned into I had been backpacking around like Hanoi and stuff, which is one of the cities in Vietnam. I have never even been close to Vietnam. I don't understand why. I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I kept going with it. But I think it was just out of fear that, oh shit, I was just playing it back through my head. Like, if I backed out of this lie, in how deep I was into the lie, I would look like a psychopath. Like, why on earth would he lie and then keep going, and then right at the end of his lie, after his elaborate storybook, I pretty much wrote a fucking novel. I wrote a J.K. Rowling novel about my travels in Hanoi, which I've never been to, because I was so scared that I'd look like a tit for lying. And it made me think about it. Like, I do that a lot, and I don't know why. Like, if I just say, like, maybe I get really excited. Like, you buy into a movie and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I am Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know. But I guess, like, you get really into the conversation. You want to keep being a part of it. So all of a sudden you say some dumb shit like, yeah, no, I've been to the moon. I was there with my mate not long ago, and we took photos. And, oh, here's the photos. And you're editing yourself, you're photoshopping yourself on the moon to make it more believable. And to be honest, it's probably more energy to fucking continue the lie than to just be like, yeah, nah, my bad. I don't know. I just got really excited, and I told you I've been to Vietnam. Sorry, mate. I haven't been to Vietnam. My bad. But yeah, I reckon, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that does that. I'm not sure, but I actually can catch myself doing it now. When you notice something about yourself that you're like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? And all of a sudden I'm catching myself, I don't know, saying that I once, I don't know, farted gold dust or something, and I have to make it believable. But a lot of times people believe me, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing on my part. I probably am a psychopath. I hope not. I guess it's unintentional lying, so it doesn't really count. It's not like I'm saying, like, I've got $1 million, but then that would be an obvious lie. Whereas I guess going to Vietnam is not really an obvious lie. Vietnam's pretty affordable, especially on my budget, especially with the way I look too. I look like someone who bums around Indonesian or those sort of Southeast Asian countries. And I did go to Bali, so it's close enough, I think. Less earthquakes, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so that was something I caught myself doing, and I was like, shit, dude, you need to stop, or at least you need to talk about it on your podcast so everyone knows that you do it. And now, so yeah, I need to stop doing that. It's still funny though, especially when you notice it. But yeah, so I always find it's funny with the podcast and all that sort of stuff. I find myself observing a lot more. I think it's probably good because I shut up now. Instead of being always like, yeah, I want to get in this conversation, I'll like kind of sit back and observe, or I'll sit back and observe, I don't know, other people. Not in a bad way, but like in a way to, like, for example, the lying thing. Like knowing that other people do something, and it makes me kind of curious as to like, okay, there's more than one person that does this. Oh, is it human nature that we do this? Is this like ingrained in our genetics, in our brain? Like, do we all notice these things? Like, yeah. Like, I always find it funny how the whole, like, nails on a chalkboard. Like, why does everyone find that? Like, there's a lot of people who find that sound really irritating. And, like, chewing, loud chewing. Like, it must be like a tick in an area of the population's brain as to why that annoys you. Because that shits me up the wall. I can't handle people like masticating. I hate loud, audible mastication. Like when you just right up in your ear, just like, no, can't do it. Don't do that. Just keep your mouth shut. Like, I don't want to know what you're eating. I feel like I can taste the food through my ears because people masticate. I love that word. Masticate so fucking loud. Just close your mouth. Or if you are a loud chewer, just, I don't know, don't breathe while you eat, something like that. My old man is a notorious loud chewer. And he's a snorer as well. Just the sounds. He just makes, the older he's getting, the more he's getting those, you know, those sounds that only dads make? Like, and I always catch myself sometimes making those sounds as I get older, and you're like, shit, like this is a thing. He's not even just putting it on. Like I got heartburn in Bali and I was making some real dad sounds. And it wasn't even intentional. They were just sounds that made me feel a little bit less heartburny, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's crazy when you catch yourself making dad sounds. But then, you know, when you have a kid, you got to own those sounds. Like, you don't want to be a dad that doesn't make dad sounds. Then they get questionable, like, I don't know, do I have a dad? Am I adopted? He doesn't sound like a dad. So, I guess when you get to a point, you need to be able to make the dad sounds. And it's an art form. Once it goes from being annoying to, like, being, you know, what you have to do. You got to make some dad sounds. But, yeah, what else has been going on lately? I've kind of given up a lot of TV, which is a big deal for the hermit, because I'm definitely a Netflix binger. I love, for me, with TV shows, when I start, I can't stop. And that's a big thing that's a big thing for my addiction to anime. Anime's ridiculously awesome because, you know, you get a Netflix show, you get like 10 episodes and then you got to wait for another season. Whereas, you know, if you watch like One Piece or something, you're sitting there for like 800 episodes. So it's like an up and a down. Like upside is you never run out of episodes. Downside is you sit down at 9 o'clock in the morning and all of a sudden it's 10 p.m. at night and you've watched 150 episodes of One Piece. So it is dangerous. But yeah, I've kind of given up a little bit on TV. And I've really invested myself in reading. It's got nothing to do with the reading itself. I just feel better than everyone else knowing that I read and they're still watching TV. So, you know, when people are like, oh yeah, watch this show. And I was like, no, sorry, I'm reading. I'm actually reading the Harry Potter series. So go and sit down and watch TV, you pleb. I've got some intellectual things I need to be doing where I'm reading words. But I was never a big reader. I actually fucking hate reading. I think I learnt to read playing Pokemon games. My mum, she just got sick of me not wanting to read, so she was like, sick, that's fine if you're playing Pokemon games, but you need to read the captions. So I was reading the little word bubbles at the bottom of Pokemon games. I think that's when I got my reading from. And I guess the quicker I wanted to do the game, the quicker I had to learn to read. So I used to just read on Pokemon games. And then I got to a point where I could probably complete the Pokemon game without even knowing what all the NPCs, so the non-playable characters say. The little dudes that sit there and you like ask them and they'll give you clues and shit. But yeah, that's and I guess I from early on I started watching like subbed anime. I remember just watching SBS and seeing like anime straight from Japan there. So I used to read the subtitles, get really into it. But yeah, with reading, I think I started reading for, it's probably about an hour, and I was like, this is so much harder than I envisioned in my brain. And then I'd always check how many pages I've got left. Like I wasn't even enjoying the book. It was just like a competition. I was just like, sick, I've just read 30 pages. I've got fucking 500 to go. But then I found a loophole. And my AirPods, bloody AirPods, they're fantastic, because they just sit in your ears and you can hide them with your long hair. So what I did was I tapped into Kia's Audible account, and now I cheat when I read. So all I do is I put my AirPods in my ears and I cover them up so I still look like I'm reading. And I just get Audible to read me the book as I've got it in my hand. So, I mean, in all seriousness, I find it's a better way to read, because like I always find I'd read a paragraph and then I get distracted. Like I'd be like, oh shit, what's going on outside? And then all of a sudden you have no idea where Harry's gone and why Ron's on fire and Hermione's killed a goblin. and you're like, what the shit? And you read something and you're like, I just read for an hour and I didn't actually understand a word that was being said. So I guess having my boy Stephen Fry reading Harry Potter in my ear definitely makes it a lot easier to concentrate. And I find my imagination gets to play a little bit more, because I'll be reading, I'm not focusing on the words, and all of a sudden I'm seeing this bloody crazy wizarding shit happening around my head, which is I don't know, which is good. So I don't know if anyone's the same. If you are a struggler with reading like I am, it is an expensive way to read. I'll say that. I mean, I'm lucky that I've got all the books already, so it's not. I don't have to go out and buy books, but I'm still buying the Audible books. So I don't know. Weighing it up, I guess I wouldn't buy a new book. I mean, if you're listening to the book, do you really need to buy it? There's something sentimental about having a book, though. Like, I've got a bookshelf. I've read none of these books, but when my mates come in, they're like, oh, you got a bookshelf? I'm like, fucking oath I do. I've got a bookshelf. I read. Look at me, mate. I read. I'm an intellectual. I know exactly what's going on. All these textbooks, done them. All goods. Don't need to do them again. You want a book to read? Because I've got 50 of them. Have a go at the words. Don't even need a dictionary. I've got that many books. I've got every word written in these books behind me. They're actually all Kia's books. I haven't read one book. I think I just finished reading Chamber of Secrets, so take that. Yeah, but I mean, what else has been happening? A lot's been happening. The Bachelor's back. I'm going to enjoy not watching that one, and I'm not going to enjoy seeing all the Instagram posts about it. So I can't understand The Bachelor. I guess the way I look at it is it's like wrestling. See, I mean, I don't understand it, but that's not to say that other people don't like it. Like, I can completely understand it. I mean, week to week, it literally is like, I wouldn't say the female version of wrestling, because there are, like, you know, girls that like wrestling and boys that like The Bachelor. The Bachelor, I don't know what it is, whatever it is. But I guess it's like wrestling. Like, you know it's fake. I mean, I'm a huge wrestling fan. If you want to believe it's real, like, it's still real to me, damn it. But if you think it's real, you should probably go check yourself out. If you're not a 5-year-old kid and you think it's real, just you probably go check yourself out. Just maybe have a conversation with someone about it. But you know it's fake, but you enjoy it for the theatrics. I think that's why I can kind of understand, even though I don't watch it, that's why I can kind of understand why people do watch it, because it is fucking exciting. Like, you know it's scripted, you know shit's going to go down, but how is it going to go down? I don't know. They might go off script. There might be some real feelings develop. Ooh, what's going on? Sarah thinks Joey loves her, but Joey loves Renee, but Renee's secretly a lesbian and just there so she can get an influencer background on Instagram, and she just wants that deal with the boohoo.com, but poor bloody Joey's like, you're my soulmate, and then over here Sarah's having a cry because Joey likes Renee, but Renee's secretly into Myra, but Myra's got a thing for the director. Just like a loop. Like an incestuous loop of television fake relationships. I think the only real reality TV show I did get into at one point was Married at First Sight. But I think that was me being a good boyfriend, because I had no interest in it, but then Kia really wanted to watch it. But then I guess when you watch something for long enough, even if you hate it, you get invested in it. That happened to me once when I was watching like field hockey or something. I'm not really into field hockey, but I think the World Cup was on and it was just always on TV, and I ended up by the end of it, I was like a fanatic of field hockey. I still don't even understand the game. Like, I was still just questioning, like, what the fuck? All right, they're getting a free kick from their own, a free hit from the sideline, but it has to touch 5 people before it goes in the goal. But then the goal needs to be on fire. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I guess that's what happened with Married at First Sight. And then you kind of just like, I think I watch it too because I enjoy watching stupid people do shit. Like, I'm not saying like they're stupid, but yeah, they're just weird. Like, I guess to be on one of those shows, and I'm not saying that you are stupid, but you got to be like a certain type of person to kind of be in one of those shows. Like, you can't, I think, you got to be wanting something out of it. You can't, like, if you go on wanting specifically what the show has to offer, you're kind of wasting your time a bit. Like, you need something else. Like, maybe you're promoting a product or something, or maybe I just analyze things too much. Maybe they are just stupid and all this other shit just happens and they kind of just roll with it. I don't know. Maybe I should go on a reality TV show. Jump on Survivor. So I think that the only issue with me with Survivor is I'd do something stupid that would get me kicked off. Like, I'd accidentally, like, I don't know, pee on something or something like that, just completely out of accident. Or I'd try to make a fire and I'd burn our campsite down and then someone would get hurt. And then I'd have to be like, yeah, sorry, not cut out for this. I think one of the main reality shows, and God, how good would this be if I got big on bloody podcasting and then I could get on like Bear Grylls. Like, do you know Bear Grylls is a celebrity thing where he just takes someone out into the bloody wilderness, but it's not the wilderness. It's usually like, I don't know, behind IKEA down at Woodridge. It's just a big grass marshland, but you don't actually know where it is. So it's probably all, you know, they're probably in a studio somewhere. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. I'd love to go behind the scenes of one of those because I saw a video not long ago about how it was someone was filming where Bear Grylls was filming, but it was just on the side of a highway somewhere. So he got caught out, poor bloke. Yeah. Interesting. TV's interesting. I think TV's one of those things that if I don't think, you know, with downloading music, all that stuff, that kind of changes. But TV is one of those things that I think is going to be free-to-air TV and Foxtel. That'll probably last. That'll last for a while, I reckon. It's just one of those things. It's kind of, there's always going to be those like hanger-oners. You know, there's people like, it was like when digital radio happened or digital TV. And you just, you know, there's just still people, like there's still like some old bird that's like, I'm not giving up my digital radio. And you're like, but no one, there's no stations. What are you doing? Like, well, there's nothing left on there. Can't you just, I don't know, go get a laptop or something? No, I want to listen to 4KQ and all the radio, all the news stories. I need it. So, yeah, I reckon TV will be a bit like that, but worse than radio. Like, no, I don't think people are going to want to give up their TVs. Yeah. Streaming's just not there yet. I mean, YouTube, on the other hand, that shit's going crazy. Crazy. Yeah. So, it's interesting. The world we live in is interesting. The way people interact with external things like TV and stuff like that's fascinating. Like, even if you're someone who is completely aware that it's bullshit, you'll still probably watch. And even down to shit like this. Like, I've been noticing I'm listening to so many more podcasts, but I think I'm listening to podcasts not even for a listening standard anymore, but like, I think I'm genuinely curious about how other people run their podcasts. Because it is an interesting format. I mean, you know, if we're in the 1950s and I said, yeah, I'm just going to set up a table and I'm going to talk to myself for half an hour or whatever the time was. I think they would have worked in half an hour. They would have looked at you like you're a loon. But now it's pretty much socially acceptable that you could set up a camera and talk to yourself and not be labelled as insane. So, interesting world we live in. But, you know, we all just got to keep chugging. What else is going on in my life? I started a 6-week challenge at Fitstop, my local gym. It's the first time I've ever done a challenge. I've never actually taken really good care of, not good care. I always take good care of what I eat, but I really haven't really focused on diet and exercise at the same time. Like, I mean, I'm kind of cheating in that I've got a girlfriend who's a dietitian, so I always get good food in me, but I've never focused on like a goal. So I'm interested to see where my 6 weeks goes, or what's going to happen in the 6 weeks. So if you're interested, I can keep you updated on that. Personally, you probably don't care. Whatever happens, as long as I'm alive by the end of the 6 weeks and there's a couple beers waiting for me, I'm going to be stoked. So that's one thing I'm doing. That's one thing I'm doing that I feel like is going to help me, I don't know, be better. I guess we're all trying to aim to be better, which is the aim of everything. Alrighty, well, that's heading up to half an hour. That flew by. I'm not wearing a watch, but I'm going to look down as if I am. That flew by. That really did fly by. These half an hour podcasts they're actually becoming hard to squeeze everything in, even though I've got really nothing written down to talk about. But anyway, guys, that is another episode. I'm not sure what episode this is going to be because I've got a few things recorded. So it could be episode 9 or 10. Probably won't be episode 11 because that's a while away. But guys, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you guys. You know, if I'm in the car with you, drive safe, have a great day. As I always say, have a great day if you're going to work. I hope you had a great day. Have a great weekend. Make sure you are nice to people. We live in a shitty time where nobody's nice to people. So, go against the grain and be a nice human. Even if you're a bit of a dick like I am, you can always give someone a compliment here and there. But anyway, if you enjoy the podcast, go give us a like on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated whenever I randomly upload a video, like I probably will this one. But anyway, guys, peace out. Have a fantastic day. And just be nice. Be a good human. See you later, guys.
Well, I got lost